Alright, making a video in what was basically a torrential, horrid, awful rain. Yeah, the worst rain I think I've ever seen. Just buckets and buckets of rain, just horrible, horrible, horrible. Anyway, so Anticontavat, I guess we'll do that. I think I have to respond to comments on my last video, which I think was really quite brilliant, actually. Yeah, I really do. I like these new metaphors. But anyway, we'll get to those imbeciles, to be serious. Anyway, they're just so full of shit, these people. They don't pay any attention whatsoever, ever. So anyway, Anaconda just keeps ragging on this guilt subject. And he really thinks you can somehow... So if I was to challenge somebody to impose guilt on me, I mean, I'd love to see you try to do it. I just don't understand this whole concept of you being able to impose a realization on me that would have to meet my own logical scrutiny for it to have any effect. I mean, I could sort of understand, let's say somebody's gay and you use some word like faggot, some kind of nasty thing like that, and you make somebody feel bad. I mean, they would have to be in a very defensive position to start off with and have some sense of marginalization, right? Now, the thing I'm attacking has no sense of marginalization. I'm not going after the weak, the outcasts, the unprivileged. So right there, it falls apart as being some sort of, even if I was using it in some sort of malicious way just to shame people. So he's using that word now. So it's combining shame with guilt and implying that this is some sort of, like I said, like some sort of aggressive weapon. This is an act of violence against somebody to inform them of, let's say, their cruelty or lack of consideration or their brutality. So if they are ignorant and stupid, you shouldn't educate them, because now you've spoiled the experience for them. So if they're some sort of like traditional dumbass male, and they like to rape women, you shouldn't try to explain to them that, women are human beings. They don't want foreign penises in their vagina. It's like, just like he doesn't like to, maybe it could explain how, maybe you don't like certain kinds of food or certain kind of things, and you certainly wouldn't want somebody to force feed you. Even if it was food you liked, you wouldn't want somebody to force it down your throat. And so this would be some kind of horrid trespass against somebody's individual autonomy to inform them of their brutality. So if somebody was a slave owner and you just had a rational conversation with them about the fact that, well, do you see the math here? If you were born a slave, you'd just be, you'd be living this life, and it's all just you didn't earn your position, they didn't earn their position, and their brain is, they have a heart, and the brain is, blood pumps into it, and they have emotions and feelings, and if you're taking from something of the same value as yourself, you're fundamentally doing something. You're fundamentally, you might as well be just, banging your own head against the wall. It's so unproductive. And so if you do that, you're imposing guilt. You've committed an act of violence against somebody because you've informed them of their stupidity. This is just the most inane, preposterously inane philosophical premise to come out of intellectual talking heads on the internet. So this is some asshole who's on the internet telling other people how they should think, suggesting, invading their brain with ideas, and he considers those invasions trespasses, acts of aggression. And so but he has a catch. It's okay if you're empowering them to be assholes, but it's not okay if you're empowering them to be better people. So if you're informing them of some negative thing they're doing, that's wrong. But if you're endorsing their sense of personal authority and personal entitlement, then it's okay. I mean, it's just such a crock of shit. And amazing that people don't call it what it is. Absolute nonsense. Again, try to impose guilt on me. I defy you to hurt me with your guilt. Go ahead. Throw as many guilt swords as you want, because I can take them all day long, because they have no hope of having any effect whatsoever unless they're actual truths. There actually has to be a truth connected to this statement you're going to make, this violence you're going to commit against me. Frog. There would have to be truth to it for it to have any effect whatsoever on me. You're not gonna hurt me with a lie, okay? I mean, certainly you can slander me, and I'll find the slander offensive, but that's not guilt. You're not going to be imposing guilt. You're just going to be imposing defamation. So it's just an amazing hypocrisy, amazing duplicity to keep harping on this guilt word. No matter how many times I've said it in all these videos repeatedly. Holy shit. No way I'm getting across, I don't think. But anyway, let's see. This is just, what's the point? I don't think people should act out of guilt. I said it overtly, but I certainly think they should act out of being informed. And so he's basically arguing that if you inform somebody of a truth, you've imposed guilt. I can't make any other argument out of this nonsense. He can't prove or demonstrate any other motive. Yeah, that's just... forget about it. Forget about it. Ain't happening. What else? Yeah, it really is dirty water too. Look how dirty it is. Ew. But it was rushing in my house. It was just, for like a half an hour, it just rained way too hard. This really has been the year of the heavy rain and such. I mean, we haven't even had this year's hurricane, which seemed to hit us every year now. But anyway, and look at this. This is the path. And you got a bit of water damage here. All right. Well, enough of that. Fuck it. Go home. So where was I? Yeah, so I don't need to keep harping on it, but so I guess this is how you evade philosophical arguments that have anything to do with improving social society. Is you just make the argument that you're attacking me with guilt. I mean, just amazing way to evade responsibility. I mean, BP should hire this guy as a PR guy, right? Because we cut some corners and we had an oil spill, and if you complain about it, you're just imposing guilt. You're attacking us so inappropriately and without justification. You're an aggressive, warring, offensive force as you dare to impose upon us any sense of responsibility. And isn't that the joke? I mean, isn't that what guilt is? A sense of responsibility. A sense of accountability. You have to first feel like you had an obligation, and then you have to feel or recognize that you fell short of your obligation. You can't feel guilt without those components existing. So again, try to go ahead. All you assholes who hate me and think I deserve some sort of punishment for my evil, go ahead. Let's see you throw a guilt sword at me. Just try. You have no fucking hope. You really don't. This is a baby's argument. And again, that's where this even becomes more offensive, is that these are supposed to be intelligent people he's talking to. I don't think there's too many people in his audience who, are generic YouTubers, watching fail videos or cute kitty videos. So he's joined himself into a community that's having a pretty high level of philosophical conversation, and here he's coming in there and basically insulting all of your intelligences by saying, I can manipulate you by imposing guilt on you. Yeah, that's the joke here. That intelligent people, I've said it in the last video, I have to keep repeating things because he's not going to acknowledge that it was ever said. But no, you can manipulate children with guilt. You're not going to manipulate somebody with a brain with something as blunt and dull as a fake guilt. The only guilt smart people feel is going to be pretty reasonable. It's going to have to meet a pretty high standard of integrity. And so it's just as lame could be to say smart people can be fooled into feeling bad for things they didn't do. I mean, there. So you've outed yourselves. If you're defending Anaconavad, you're basically outing yourself as an imbecile, as somebody too stupid to be able to have defenses against the power of the responsibility imposer. Oh my God, he used words against me. We're not talking about real acts of aggression. He even used this as a metaphor. That the physical whipping you might get in a foreign country, that guilt is an equally bad psychological whipping. So isn't that a joke? And he doesn't understand any of these subjects, and he doesn't recognize the fact that these have been addressed. I mean, I've made so many videos pointing out how punishment has no use as anything other than deterrence. And he just makes the argument somehow we have punishment because we want to somehow reform the individual criminal. I don't even think dumb Americans are stupid enough not to realize that deterrence is the primary function of punishment. You punish people because you wish to prevent other people from doing the act, so you create a disincentive for them to commit the act. And it's really quite effective. I mean, I can't tell you how effective laws against murder have been, in the sense that in my own case, I can give you a list of a few 100,000 murders that didn't take place because there was laws against it that included a punishment. I mean, just amazing. This guy is so dishonest, so unfair to reality. We do not punish criminals for the sake of the criminal. We punish them for the sake of civil society. Just so fucking stupid. So anyway, yeah, that's probably enough. Sorry about the yelling, but a lot of background noise and such, and so forth and whatnot. Yeah, that's enough. So, till next time, and such. And maybe I'll add something, I don't know. I gotta, respond to the comments. Maybe I'll throw these videos together. We'll see what I choose to do. Yeah. And such. Careful here, sorry. Okay, that's enough. Hit the button now. And another charming day in the neighborhood.